Here's the good part. We are going to crush it. All right, everybody. So this is an odd one. This is Q car. We've had this car here since 2006. The client commissioned us to build a super modern example of what a car might be in the future. It was briefly in an exposition in Staten Island called Gadget Off. You know, it was a real geek fest, quite honestly. It was quite something. This car was done almost 3 times. We were commissioned to redo it a 3rd time. And then the client decided to just stop because the Tesla had come out and it was so wild to him that he's like, what's the point? That was the end of it right there. And then the car just sat for many, many years. And it's never been registered. It's never had a license plate on it. It's never legally driven on the road at all. I think it has a couple 100 miles on it, which is just mileage in this parking lot. But here's the good part. We are going to crush it. We're going to turn it into a cube. We're going to put it into our new cemetery that we're building over here. In fact, we just finished the exsanguination process. We removed all of the fluids, batteries, fuel, of course, at the request of the crusher. You know, the client chose a very pedestrian car, and he had us integrate to an extremely high level all sorts of modern things, you know, whether it be Bluetooth, cellular, which at the time was a big deal. Features regarding video, where you had, you know, video cameras on all corners, and you had a viewing screen for those. He had FLIR, which at the time, nobody was really putting FLIR in cars in 2005. It was a very expensive, unusual thing. Lots of things that you might expect us to have put in here, we did. But it was the gadgets, I mean, hence the term Gadget Off, where this vehicle went. But the owner is a gadget guy. That's his shtick. That's what he's really made of. He was just fascinated with gadgets. I mean, he wanted to put, you know, flame shooters out the exhaust and an eject seat. I mean, he was serious. I mean, he wanted all these real James Bond things that were, you know, basically illegal. You can't use any of that stuff. But so those things never made it into the car, but so many other things did.
Well, welcome to our AI design, Our Lady of Internal Combustion Cemetery. A while back we crushed Matt's Camaro. That's a whole story on its own, how it ended up like this. We had thought about making it a sculpture. When you have one, it's kind of cool on its own as like a piece of art. Once you have two of these things, you got to have a place to put them, right? So here we are in our graveyard. You might notice a size difference in these, and that's because when the Subaru, when Q car was crushed, it had its entire drive line in it, which was really important to the customer, whereas the Camaro was basically a rolling shell, although the title for the Camaro is inside the crushed up pile of garbage. Matt, in typical AI fashion, he picked a really beautiful place for it. Getting the Camaro up here was not that big of a challenge because it didn't have the drivetrain in it. However, getting the Subaru up here, which I believe weighs 5,000 or 6,000 pounds, this Subaru Tribeca, we don't have a forklift that lifts that, so it's kind of an interesting operation with some counterbalancing to get this up on top of the wall. Plus, its length made it exceptionally difficult to keep it balanced as we lifted it into place. But here we are, and hopefully we never have to move it. So this is certainly a place you can come pay your respects to our fallen heroes here. There are rules if you visit our cemetery. We'll go through them. There is no spitting, no loitering, no littering, no shirts, no shoes, no service. You break it, you bought it. All donuts will be confiscated. Do not touch or climb on the deceased. Unaccompanied children will be put to work.